I love you, but be fucking for real. The feminist movement is a scam designed by rich old white men.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Before y'all cancel me, let me introduce our special guest, Twelvie, a man. I don't know why I thought he was qualified to speak on feminist issues, but here we are. He's wearing blue. I don't know if that's like some sort of anti-feminism statement.
Yeah, do y'all have a feminist flag? Is that what's happening these days? I got like a...
Who is y'all?
This is y'all.
I don't know if there's a feminist flag. But
Yeah.
they, you know how the all the LGBTQ, they have all their different
right.
flags. So
There might be one. We should make
it
one.
pink?
After this podcast, we'll sit here and make one.
we'd be dumb if it already exists.
We would
But-
be. We could just fact check.
Okay, so we gonna
Sure.
make it. We
Yeah.
gonna make it, or we gonna uplift it. We're gonna buy one. We're gonna
We'll edit it in.
fly our flag around.
We'll edit it in.
So you're a rapper. You're college educated. You're a songwriter. You're a son of Haitian parents. What else did I miss?
I started some acting endeavors, so I've been acting and stuff a little bit. Yeah, I do a lot of background work at the moment, but I've been auditioning for some Kevin Colville films, some short films and stuff like that. So yeah,
Ooh.
get my feet wet. You know, I act up. I act out of turn according to my lady interests. So why not go into acting?
Oh, okay.
It all makes sense. That's what I think.
All right. So
Everything's acting. Yeah.
Everything is acting. I feel like,
Yeah.
so when I was a kid, I used to want to be an actress like full time. And I was like, I'm going to go to NYU and I'm going to go to Tisch to be an actress. And I went to NYU and I went to business school. Like,
I'm crying.
who does this? But I realized, I'm like, no, I'm still a performer. I
Yeah.
am still a performer. Like, you perform every day to get an outcome that you want. I don't know.
Yeah. That's really what it is. I mean, we go to work. If you handle any phone calls, whatever, you know, even your emails, you're acting the fuck out those emails. You're not fucking, you don't talk like that. Like,
At all.
I'd have been on treat somebody in my goddamn email. If I really wanted to say what I wanted to say and slap somebody. But
I
it's
slap
neither here
them
nor there.
so professionally,
That's
though.
a fact. Yeah, we do that.
It's so
Sure.
fun. It's so great.
They
I
call it
love
code
to,
switching.
like, curse someone out without saying one bad thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such a satisfying
And you know they
feeling.
feel it. They feel the energy too.
and then you feel it, and
Yeah.
you're like, yes, I did what I needed
yeah.
to do, and I can't even get in trouble.
Fucking Bob from finance. That's a fact.
Not Bob from finance.
Yeah, fuck him.
Fuck him. Fuck Bob. Fuck Bob.
Fuck Bob.
He said fuck Bob too.
Champeasy, baby.
Yeah, we got this
Yeah,
goofy
you know.
dog here. He don't fuck with Bob either. So I'm sorry if you're listening to this, Bob, but
Fuck him.
it's 3 against 1 at this point.
That's a fact.
So what beef do you have with this feminist movement? Like, what's the...
Champeasy
the
has the
beef?
same beef.
No, we
Okay,
don't.
so I think really it's not really a beef. I just think that, especially for us culturally black people, we always got a sense of like taking over shit that ain't got shit to do with us. Like we always take over movements that don't have shit to do with us, or interests or political moments that ain't really aligned with our principles and morals. Like we get the feminist movement is, you know, it's supposed to be uplifting and empowering for women, sort of kind of like Me Too movement, it's all the same really. I mean, the Me Too movement is right hand adjacent really, but we get all the missions. It's just like a lot of times motherfuckers don't know the background, don't know the history of it. So it's not for us. It wasn't meant for us. I mean, black women, when I say that, but it was meant for white women because white women really had no skills.
I think that certain things white women have benefited from in the feminist movement, but I would even dare to argue that I don't even think that they truly benefit in the ways that they believe that they benefit from the feminist movement.
Yeah. Think about, everything statistically from DEI to a lot of these programs and stuff, who benefits the most from it? It's white women or white people. But we somehow are the catalyst for the poster children, if you will, for these movements. And it's like, how?
So, okay. So, are you saying that you think there should be a movement for Black women specifically?
I would have think it, yeah, I would have definitely thought it would have been different from the Me Too movement or, just this whole women's power movement. Because they have different like subsidiaries and like sections of like Me Too movement. And so I would say that I'm not even entirely sure. I'm sure Black women do have something along the lines specifically for Black women. I don't want to talk out of turn. We got to do research there. But I think that it would benefit on a global scale if Black women led a movement specifically for them.
But I feel like every time that Black women specifically do that, it gets taken over into something else. Like Black Lives Matter, for example. Like,
Crazy.
So it's like at this point, I don't even know if like a movement is possible. And even just not even just that, but like women of color in general.
I mean, I think it's doable. I just think you know what it is? I really think it has to have the full support of Black men. And that almost might be contradicting to whatever the movement is, but you have to have the support of both parties within your race for shit to work, which is why.
So then why? So you're saying you would support a feminist movement. You don't support the one that's out there because it's a scam. It was not created for all women.
That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact. And when I look at like history, because of how the women's movement is now, the feminist movement, when I look from history dating back to, early slave days, we'll just start from there. Like slave days, you had white women who particularly had no skill. Their men were leading and fighting in wars. White women stayed home. They didn't have skills. They didn't cook for their children. They had Black nannies. Like they had slaves do the work. So this movement was meant for them as a rebellious state because they was like, hey, no, fuck that. We need skills. We need some skill. We need some shit. Like we're not getting none of this shit. And you kind of see Black women adopt that idea, and I get it. It just wasn't for them. And a lot of Black women do know that.
Yeah, I just don't think it's for anyone. I don't think we should be having, personally, I don't even feel like we should be having the movements in general because it's like, to your point, you need the support of men, but how do we educate men on why it's even important to uplift women?
How do you get away from men and try to be independent beneath the resources and or backing of men for a movement? You see what I'm saying?
So that reminds me, like, you have told me in the past that you believe in traditional roles for men and women in a family unit. Yeah. So what does traditional roles look like to you?
I mean, it really depends. It's circumstantial. I'd say, like, let's say if we're building a family unit in today's society, we understand how divisive it is. There's a lot of issues, right? Let's say we're having a baby and we want to instill some sort of structure. Let's not even go that far. Let's say we're dating, right? You come from your own background, your family background, I come from mine. Certain things we learned they may not benefit us going forward. But if we have a mindset of being like, hey, we're doing this shit for the family, or we're not going to let outside things distract us, or we're going in there with a plan, and you know that you have to come with certain open-mindedness, and I do as well, but then I'm also learning you at the same time and vice versa. These are the type of things I'm talking about when we were trying to build together and learn these roles. Like, and I understand that's also why dating is so hard right now for some people, because it's like you kind of don't go into shit with an open mind because of how you were raised. But my idea is really like, if you go into shit with an open mind, understanding that, hey, these are things that have worked. These are things that are tearing us apart as a community or just, in relationships. You can sort of kind of pivot around there, see what works for you. And if it doesn't work, then obviously you can make changes, right? You start developing new skills and introducing new tactics into your marriage or relationship. I don't feel like people do that enough. So with these roles, it's really contingent upon like who you dealing with. I don't have like a set rule like, hey, I take the trash out because I'm a guy, and you just stay home and make food. You know what I mean? It's not nothing like that. It's really just depending on who you dating and how they raise.
Traditional roles then.
I mean, the mindset is where I'm more so, and I understand things ain't gonna be traditional. Like I'm not gonna be like you stay home, I go work, bring home the bacon, and you figure everything out or you take care of the kids because it's not what it is today. Now it can be that today, but you might have endeavors. You got shit that you're interested in. You're on your phone. You see other women doing things. You're like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not sitting here trying to depend on a guy the whole time. But if you do things to where y'all have a linear purpose and y'all can coexist, but you understand the value, you understand the moral, or just the history behind it. Like you can be a traditional woman and not just be a stay-at-home mom. You see what I'm saying? Or be a stay-at-home woman. You see what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I feel like
what do you think?
It doesn't sound people don't need more to understand how that could work. Because like I think I was having this conversation with one of my friends and we were saying that we talk about the downfalls of men and men aren't taught certain things that they're supposed to know. Like a lot of men don't know how to even like cook.
Change a tire or cook. Yeah.
But like for themselves even basic things, right? Like a lot of men don't know how to change a tire. A lot of men don't know like, oh, I need to like wipe the bathroom down once a week for like cleanliness.
Sunday cleaning, yeah.
Like a lot of men don't know those things because their moms just did everything in the house and they never watched like they never were forced to,
but I
or
feel
they
like
never
they would
watched
also see that too though. Like
their dad do it.
If you grew up with women that did everything around the house, you should know how to do something.
You would be surprised.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You would be very surprised.
Damn. That's crazy. And also, I just feel like it's a skill. Like it's an interest level too. Like it's.
Yeah.
Some people just ain't interested in learning.
But it's like little stuff of like survival. It's like, and I think that whole thing is talked about and accepted that men may fall short in that area, but for women, I don't think we talk about like how we may not be supporting men, and it gets bogged down in the whole be his peace people. And it's like, no. Now that's alienating women, because if I hear be his peace, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? I'm not his peace. Like, he need to go to the therapist, talk to the lady. It's not me.
We got to switch the verbiage for
so
sure.
That's what I mean. I think it's about, like, the verbiage. So it's like, it's not be his peace. It's show up in a way that complements maybe some of his natural tendencies, inclinations as a man. Because I think at the end of the day, there are biological differences between men and women.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that, oh, if you're a man, you're more capable to do this job than I am or something, because that's not true. But just as far as like the way we think, the way we process information, there's differences. And I think like as a woman, you have to show up in a way that complements your partner, even if your partner is a woman or a transsexual. You have to there has to be some sort of like complementing.
It almost has to be a role. Like when it's like trying to say it but not. Like you have to understand like
but people
what do you bring to the table?
It's what you bring to the table, but people try to dumb it down because they're lazy and they don't want to actually take the depth of understanding things. Because think about the whole like the femininity coaches, right? That's dumbing it down.
What's the lady's name? The one that's always fucking. She be treating the fuck out of niggas. She be talking crazy about guys.
I don't even
know. Sprinkle or some shit.
It's Sprinkle, yeah.
She wild.
I don't even listen to all her stuff, but it's like the femininity coaches. I know, I'm familiar though, but like the femininity coaches, it's like, no, that's dumbing it down. That's not what, it's not like, oh, I know how to cook, I know how to clean, and I wear pink, and I have nice earrings, and I do my hair. No, like that's not, that might be what gets you attention and more people to interact with you. That's one conversation, but as far as like showing up as a partner, That's not what it is.
Yeah.
So the femininity coaches, and they're like, oh, we're teaching you how to be able to have long-term relationships and this and that.
Yeah.
That's not it.
It's creating division. But I mean, really, when you look at society right now, everything is creating division. Like, social media is split. Like, everything is just, if somebody's not doing this in your life, they're wasting your time. If somebody's not doing, it's not pro growing or pro growth within relationships, whether it be sexual or just friendships and shit, or even family. Like, people are quick to cut people off these days, and it's like, that shouldn't be the case because we need each other as a society. But if it creates more division, it creates, I mean, it kind of keeps the economy going. I mean, it feeds capitalism. Like, case in point, once again, I'll go back to the example. If you're dating or you guys are married, whatever the case may be, if society is able to create some sort of trauma or trigger some sort of trauma or just create division within your relationship, society sort of kind of wins, because then that's 2 mortgages, that's 2 rent payments, family split. You guys aren't saving as much. The kids kind of grow up fucked up, which means that they need to fucking go to the hospital. You get sicker. Like, there's things that aren't pro healthy. Like, it's just bad. So that's where we're at for real. Like, we're in a divisive, it's a trickle down effect.
And it's done on purpose. I think that's like the key part, is like, none of this is by accident, that like we're so divided. And then now we have like the whole, like, have you seen the tradwife thing? You have
Tradwife?
Okay, so there's this whole thing. It's like tradwives. So you know that lady who makes the content where it's like she's just cooking all day? She's like a pretty, like,
Cooking with Kaya?
No.
Stop saying that.
No, yeah, she look good.
Yeah,
but she's not tradwife.
No.
She's not tradwife.
Okay.
She a regular cool girl.
Okay.
Shout out to Cooking with Kaya, but yeah, you look good, girl. The bitches was hating on her though.
They was hating hard.
They was hating
hard.
So hard on her.
They was waiting.
Like,
they got her shit shut down once.
They did?
Yeah, they got her.
And this is my thing. Like, we be so mad, like, as in women, like, so mad because somebody is, like, just showing up as themselves and people are giving them attention, and you're mad that you done paid thousands of dollars for a femininity coach and you done did your whole wardrobe clean out and you've been prissed and preen in this, and you're not getting the same attention as her, and you're fucking mad.
Yeah. Social media is crazy, yo.
You're mad. You're angry.
It's crazy.
And it's like, no, the girl, she can make whatever she can make, whether it's good or not, and she's having a good time and living her life. That's what it means to be a woman, in my opinion. That's like, you have fun, you learn, you can laugh at yourself, whatever. And like, the stuff that she was doing wasn't even like, yes, she is being like
promiscuous,
but it's not in a way of like, I'm begging for attention.
Exactly.
It's in a way of like, I'm like, this is fun. This is funny. This is fun.
She enjoys cooking. And she enjoys making men plates. She understands her audience. She understands the target audience is men. But she also kind of understood that women have a problem with it. That's why she throws in a little verbiage talking about like, this is for your man or some shit. She knows what she's doing.
She's joking.
But it wasn't in a joking manner.
Like,
it was never like
malicious.
Malicious.
So mad about
mad as fuck.
And I'm like, it's okay, baby. Like, you didn't have to do all that stuff that you had to do to try to get a man. You just needed to be yourself, and that's not her problem. That you feel threatened by this
little woman. And then they tried to say like she was like underage. They was wilding. They was doing a lot.
They was doing so much. I'm like, that poor girl, but she's not tradwife. But it's like the women that like, there's this one girl, she's like Middle Eastern looking or Armenian looking or something, and she like cooks Cheerios from scratch, like that type of stuff. Like literally rolls the dough out, and like that's her videos. And that's like the trend right now is like, have you heard of like the milkmaid dresses?
Have I heard of it? No. Okay,
so they have like these dresses. They're like corset at the top, but then like flowy at the bottom. They're supposed to be like old 1950s like dresses.
That's freaky.
Called milkmaid dresses. And you literally, if you type it in on Google, they'll be like milkmaid, pink dress, whatever. And apparently the girls are wearing them to the club and stuff. But it's supposed to be like, we're going back to this conservative traditional roles. That's why I asked you, like, what does that mean to you? Because that's what we're going back to, is like women are in the home cleaning and cooking because the economy is so much right now that they can't afford childcare or whatever. So now they're going back to the home and they're going to be traditional and have these like in-home skill sets. But to your point, if we talk about it from the perspective of women of color, we already were doing this shit, right? Okay, so I know I'm not wearing a milkmaid dress, but like we're already doing this stuff. Like women of color, it doesn't matter if you're black or Latina or Asian, like you already were doing this stuff and working. So and the ones that weren't also working, it was because they had a situation in their family where they were able to be at home. But it's a full-time job.
It is.
It's a full-time job, and you don't get no days off. You don't get no days off because them kids, okay, like they don't just go away.
Them kids do be kidding.
Yeah, no, they be kidding. And it's like, well, when your man is going out to work and you don't go out to work, it's like, this is your job. So it's like you don't have no days off. You can't work from home. Like home is work. But that's like the whole like trend right now. But then even if we think about it from the perspective of like white women, it's like they're going into this trend craze, and I don't think that they know how much work it is.
Right.
I don't think that they like know what they're like aspiring for.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think
some of them do, but then some of them are like, this is crazy.
Because there's white women who've been stay-at-home moms, like
for sure.
And like the people who maybe like their mom was a stay-at-home mom, and then they're going to try to do the same thing. Like, okay, you probably know because if you have a good relationship with your mom. But a lot of them, I don't think they know, like how much like work they're signing up to do. And then it's like when I think about this, I heard a creator talking about this woman who like in the early 2000s, she like had her whole brand. She was on Oprah, Martha Stewart, about like being a stay-at-home mom, being a homemaker, all that. Like made a book and everything. Like this was her whole thing. She was on the big shows. She's like 40. Her husband leaves her after the kids are adults, after they go like leave to go to college. For a younger woman, she has no skills besides homemaking, which is a skill, but like no skills that she can go get a job for. She's on food stamps. She's poor. And divorced and doesn't have an identity because her kids are adults now.
Damn.
So it's like you have to, there's no shame in like if the way, like you said, your household works out that like the woman's going to be at home doing things, but you have to have figured out like what your identity is.
That's a fact.
And if worst case scenario happened, what does that mean for you? Like you need to have known the answer to that. And you also need to be aware and comfortable with like how much work you're going to put in and how much resent you may have for your husband, because you're going to see him like go different places in his life with his career. You're going to get married. He's going to start off at one spot in his career, and 10 years later, he's going to be in a completely different spot, and you're going to still be with them 10-year-old
kids.
Which is
why
now.
I understand the purpose of the movement, because a lot of guys were having secret families. They were doing a lot of foul shit. So I understand why women are like, yo, y'all playing us. Like, we have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. So I understand even why the court leans towards women in certain regards and things of that sort. I just think it got so bad right now to where it's like, yo, this shit is crazy. Because now women are scamming the courts. They're lying about certain things. Now women are doing certain things where it's like, it's kind of hurting and tarnishing a relationship when it should be helping, right? We thought we were empowering women to uplift them. Everybody's equal. Now we're on the same type of terms, but that's not really the case.
It's not really empowering anyone. I think it's
crazy.
The point. And it, like you said, I think it disproportionately affects people of color.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, including the men, like, and there's studies like that show when you even just focus on women's health, like if you don't focus on anything else, but you go in a community and you are like, oh, I'm going to give women access to good health care, the community does better economically. Not even trying to get them a job, not even trying to worry about, like, if they have a skill, literally just their health care.
Yeah.
It betters the community from an economic perspective. So, as a whole, not just them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I think, like, the whole reason that we're stuck in, like, the feminist movement scams, because there's been, like you said, different iterations of the movement.
Yeah.
But the reason we're stuck in this pattern is because people don't do the research.
Yep.
They don't look at the history, and they don't look at, like, the bigger picture of what is it that I'm actually trying to achieve. I'm not really, like, at first it's like, yes, I deserve the right to vote.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
certain
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
like, the right to vote, like,
Yeah.
a bank account, like, there are things that came out of the civil rights movement that included women that I think are necessary, that
sure.
I'm grateful for. But then there's other pieces of it that now I feel like it's just meant to actually prevent us from achieving, like, real progress. Because, for example, like, cigarette smoking before was, like, seen as, like, a male thing to do. Like, it's not feminine to smoke cigarettes, whatever. But then when the cigarette companies decided that they wanted to have more women in their target market, because more people, you're excluding 50% of money that you could be getting, they went to, like, the leaders of, like, the feminist movements and got them to smoke cigarettes as part of, like, the way they brand. You're saying fuck femininity.
Yeah.
You're saying, like, I don't care about these men. I'm gonna smoke my cigarette, whether y'all men like it or not, because I'm an independent woman and I smoke cigarettes.
That's crazy.
That's why now even iconic pictures of the feminist movement are with the cigarette smoking. But they were taking it. They believed, dummies. Like, they believed. Like, they thought they was doing something, and bitch, no, all you was doing was killing your fucking lungs. Now, I'm not even saying no disrespect to cigarette smokers, but, like, I'm saying it to specifically the people who thought they was doing something to rebel.
I can't stand cigarette smokers. I'm going to say it. I don't want it. It shit stink. It's bad.
Okay, but this is the thing. I don't smoke cigs, but why is it that in Europe, them motherfuckers be outliving us and they be smoking like a motherfucker?
It's a combination of food, too. Like,
that's
the
what
shit
I'm
we
saying.
consume here is crazy.
So it's like, cigarettes is bad as hell. Like, if you're in the U.S., you shouldn't be, like, you shouldn't be chain smoking just for your health. For sure. Like, I don't judge you, but you shouldn't be chain smoking.
It's a lot.
But in Europe, like, everybody smoke in Europe, so it don't really matter, like, for them, because they be living. They be cool. They be cool, and they be back to back with it. They be in the restaurant, the ashtray. They be in the bars.
They really do.
They do anything with
the whole place just smell like cigs.
They can't do nothing without that.
Can't stand it. Clothes be stinking.
But they be cool. They be cool.
It's because the food. I mean,
that's
combo.
what I mean.
You can't do both. Choose a vice. God damn it. We fucked up. I mean, the food, the drugs, the pharmaceutical companies on our ass, the food companies are on our ass. Niggas hate niggas. White people hate niggas. Everybody is on our ass. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
there's so much. And that's why, like, to your point, like, we have to stick together. I feel like, to me, that's what traditional roles means, is, like, sticking together. But then also being for real with, like, what are our differences? Where is there interlap or, like, overlap between our differences to where we can, like, come to a middle ground? And like I said, like, yes, we're talking about men and women, but, like, I know there's other combinations of relationships that exist.
The combo really starts with, I think it really starts at the 50-50 shit. I do think it starts because, I mean, that idea leads to so many. And I don't even want to go down the rabbit hole doing, like, the 50-50 conversation, but it do lead to so much. Like, that idea of what are you bringing to the table, certain women saying, I am the table. Certain women, well, the table isn't anything. What kind of table is it? Like, goddamn, you a fucking coffee table? Are you a full table? Or you, like, what kind of table are you? You a table with a missing leg? It's a lot of conversation.
A table may be good for one person and not for another person. You don't have this coffee table at your apartment. do you think it's a bad coffee table? You're not like,
so
oh,
what you
fuck
bring?
this coffee table. No, that's just not the one that you wanted in your apartment.
Even the idea, like, of just being the table, like, I'm bringing everything else. You didn't even say you bringing chairs, bitch. Like for real, just the table where I'm gonna sit. I need utensils. I need, like, just the table. I could eat this standing up. Like, for real. Like, I mean, just an analogy form, right? But we're just talking shit. But that's really what it is. Like,
and I think it just becomes, like, I think we as people of color have to think about this more because everything on the outside, like you were saying, is against us. So, like, who better to support us than in the home? And if, like, you're actually thinking about, like, long term, it's like your partner has to be a true partner because the rest of the world is not going to save you.
Exactly.
It's not going to help you.
Ain't nobody coming to help you.
I think it's fine, to your point, that sometimes, like, a relationship might not even be 50-50 at certain points in time. Like, that's something that my mom's a therapist, like, was telling me recently, was, like, sometimes if it's a long-term relationship, like, maybe the man was doing a job and he got hurt on the job. So now the woman, before she wasn't at work, but maybe she has to pick up a little side thing while he's recovering.
Yep.
But she's also doing more of the cooking and cleaning because he's hurt physically. Does that mean that he ain't shit and she gotta leave him and he ain't bringing nothing to the table? No, it just means, like,
it is what it is at that time.
This person, and it's, like, not 50-50 at this time.
Which is cool. It is always going to look like 70-30 or fucking 10-80. I mean, 10-90. I can't do math. Jesus Christ. 10-20, even whatever the case. And vice versa. Them cases might happen. It's just understanding the mission. That's why they always are, like, when you see married couples and they've been married for a long time, it was like, yo, that shit wasn't easy. There's been patches where I hated this woman or vice versa. Like, not really hating, but they say things like that. Like, yeah, we went through some shit. But we understood the same mission, and we made this pact with God, and we were in it for the long haul. And I don't think people are in it for the long haul. People are just in it for what feels good, what you can do for them,
or what's convenient.
Exactly. People are just in it for themselves, and that's the issue.
And I feel like you can do that when you have the privilege of being a white man. Point blank, period. You can be a
white, period. Like, black people don't have that privilege. I'm sorry.
Okay, but I don't think white women got it as good as you.
I think white women got it good.
Because they have it good.
Because at some point in white women's history, that sometime in their life, majority of them, if not all of them, because this is not always the case, but a lot of them have fathers who were in positions for certain things. They grew up decent. A lot of them grew up decent. They have fathers who took care of them.
But then did their parents teach them?
Not always the case, no.
Skills.
The exception versus the rule. It's not a rule. There's a lot of exceptions. Same for black people. Like, we've had parents, we 2-parent households, but some of us didn't. I mean, if you look at the numbers statistically and stuff of that sort, it's heavily favoring white people's position to have that generational wealth, have those things, have those moments, especially here in the States. Not so much for black people, which is why it's more important for us to stick together. A white woman, they may not have that, but at some point in your life, you had a white man who was in position of power. That's not necessarily the case for black people. So that's the issue.
I get that white women have it easier than women of color. I get that. Yeah. But I don't think it's, like, I think it goes, okay, and it depends on what environments we're talking about, too.
Yeah, sure.
Because, like, in the corporate world, to be honest, it went white men, black men, white women, black women. And when I say black, I'm putting Latina and Asian in that.
Okay.
For these purposes. Yes. Yeah. That's how it went at my job and a lot of people's jobs. Like, like, you could get to, obviously they can get to the place easier than a woman of color. Yeah. They can get to that job. But once you at that job, the way they get treated.
Well, that's going back to the skill set. I say, like, black women have to work twice as hard
to get to that skill set. Yeah.
So it's like I really come with the credentials versus somebody who may not had or
wasn't as easy.
It wasn't
to
as
get
it wasn't as difficult even. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. Like I agree with that, but then I feel like once we made it, once we compare like two women, like a woman of color versus a woman not of color with credentials, and they have gotten the job on the job. It's similar. It's very similar. Because I seen it. Yeah, it's very similar. And people don't really believe it until they see it. But then when they see it, you're like, oh, wow, like this is crazy. Society really just don't care about women, period. Now, but when we're talking about walking down the street, a white woman versus a black man, and we're not at a work setting, now that's
who are protecting more? Definitely white women.
Now we're not talking. It's not nowhere near close.
So let me ask you this then. So what do you think? We're probably going off subject here. What do you think? What do you think about black athletes or just black people when the minute they get power, running? Not necessarily running. I'm just talking shit, but really running towards white women or dating white women. Like, what are your thoughts on black men who, like, when they get the bag, start entertaining white women?
I think it's because they view it as a like a rite of passage. Like they think that shows their value to society. It shows like, oh, I can get a white woman. It means I've really made it. It's like a sign of like really made it. Just like why do you buy the expensive car even before you really can afford it? It's
so do you think we're black men? Do you think a black man? Is follow-up question. Do you think a black man? I'm interviewing you now, so this is crazy. Do you feel like black men kind of value white women more by saying that?
No, and this is why I think that they think others will perceive them as more valuable if they're next to a white woman, but how they actually view the white woman, normally no. Now, obviously, there's some who are so egregious that they do, but I think those are more of the minority. I would say a lot of those black athletes that go and date the white women is just because of appearances. It's not that like they would look at me and be like, oh, you're gross, you're disgusting, I would never go with you. It's just like I'm not getting them the same status and looks of like, oh, you really made it, you got that white woman, that the white woman's gonna get them.
Fine as hell though.
It's not that. That's what I'm saying. It's not that I think most of them would not come to me and be like, oh, you're unattractive because you're black. Like, you know what I mean? It's not about attraction. I actually went maybe like 2 years ago. I had a friend whose cousin was a baseball player at University of Iowa. Okay. And I went to visit there, and obviously it's like they're black athletes with a bunch of...
There's a bunch of white women out there.
White women, right? Yeah. And I had previously thought like, oh, they genuinely just think white women look better. And like, I wasn't there to like try to find me a man or nothing. I was just there to like go to this like rival game and have fun. But they were all these black men. They had their white girls with them, but they was all like turning their necks at me. And I was so like, oh, they do think we're attractive. Like, I was like, I don't care. I know some black women get mad and they're like, oh, why don't they think I'm pretty? I don't care. Who's going to like me is going to like me, and who's not going to like me is not going to like me. So I don't be checking for it. But I was genuinely like, oh my God, they do think black women are attractive.
It's just very far few in between out there. But
but there was black women in that place though.
Oh, it was?
Wow. In the club that we was at, it was like, I guess like they knew the black athletes go there probably. Yeah. Well, that's what happened. The black athletes
I don't know shit about Iowa.
I don't know.
I'm a Michigan fan.
All I know is
Go Blue.
That I'm not a college football fan really. I guess I had to say Penn State because, you know. I don't know why you wouldn't be a Penn State fan. You went to Penn State.
No, I didn't go to Penn State.
You didn't?
Everybody around me went to Penn State.
Okay.
Yeah, all the guys, all the homies. My cousin went to Penn State.
And you're not a Penn State fan.
Majority of my guys, they live in Philly, all that. So that's why I be saying John a lot.
I know all that background.
I'm heavy influenced by the East Coast.
And you're not a Penn State fan?
The football team never wooed me growing up. It's Michigan Wolverines. It's a Michigan Wolverine household.
Okay, whatever. So anyway... No, because...
But I can dig it, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not really a big college football person, but Penn State, like, if I had to say. But yeah, like, them black athletes was there, and then they had the black girls was there, but they, like, already know, because they lived there, so they already know what type of time the men's was on, wasn't paying them no attention, but they was
tough.
really breaking their necks, and then, like, my cousin's friends was, like, looking at me, and they was like, "Ooh, I need to move to Chicago." Like, they was saying that and everything. And I was like, "Oh my God, they like black women, but the white girls is just there." Like, that's what I'm saying.
And you're the right complexion.
I do know that.
So it's almost like a best of both worlds thing too. Because I do think, like, texture matters. I do think that matters, especially with us. I mean, when growing up, a lot of the women were going for lighter skinned guys. They love light skinned guys, especially growing up.
That was a thing
in the 2000s. Yeah, that was a thing. I mean, it probably still is a thing. No. I don't think maybe not so much
now.
Today, no.
Now we don't do that. Now we like the chocolates.
I do my thing.
We do. I'm serious. No, because the light skins,
do my thing now.
We be associating them with, like,
it's.
We don't like them.
They getting a lot of feminine stereotypes and shit.
Yeah,
they always have, though. I mean, Prince was doing this thing, but he was getting them, though.
He was getting the
Prince
bitches.
was getting, he was getting the bitches.
All colors.
He was getting them. But yeah, I just say that to say the complexion does matter within these conversations and shit like that. So you being the right complexion, that also may fare into it. I just think, from my perspective, the black athlete enjoys white women, and I talk to a lot of them.
Oh yeah. So you giving us okay? So what's the reason that black athletes go to white women more? What's the reason from a male?
A lot of my cousins and just a lot of people I know in the league or around it, college players, shit like that. The reason, or one of the many reasons, there's many reasons. I think
black men athletes go with white women, and they be loving them.
For sure. A lot of times, white women understand, white women aren't stupid. They pay attention to a lot. So they understand that we have issues within our community, and we have these traumas and shit where we're not listening to each other as much. White women pay attention to that shit. So they understand that all I have to do is be nice to this motherfucker. Stick it out for the long haul. A lot of women do stick around. A lot of white women do take niggas who have potential and stick with them just to see if it work out or not. They do that. They're very patient when it comes to that. And maybe submissive when it comes to sexual acts and just submissive in other areas. And that it benefits white women a lot. That's the one. Cat's out the bag, all right? I told everybody. Everybody knows this. You're welcome.
Wait, okay. I'm like, no. I don't even think I agree with everything.
It's true. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's true.
But no, because they be with the black women until they get up, and then once they get up, they get the white woman. So that cancels that argument.
Nah, not all the time.
Okay, but
some of these motherfuckers will find a nigga with potential. These athletes.
And you don't think black women do that?
They see these niggas in high school. Black women do that too.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That argument goes out the door.
I'm saying the reason why a lot of them, and then there's also a cultural difference, right? Where a lot of times black men do feel like white women are a little bit more kinder. I forgot to throw that in there. They do. I think that's a stereotype that ain't necessarily true. But a lot of times they may think that. They're a little bit more receptive. They're a little bit more gentle with them. I can sort of kind of dig that. I understand that too. But I don't necessarily agree with that. But I understand why they would see that. So it's a lot of factors. But those are primarily the reasons. Those are really those reasons. I'm not even going to hold
these are from the black athletes that you know.
Yes.
That's with. Okay, so let me sum it up for the girls. Since I know the girls, they do want to know why.
Switch it up.
I don't be caring.
Switch it up.
But okay, so they feel that white women are gonna be nicer. Mm-hmm. 2, white women will, maybe target a black man with potential and stick with him. Mm-hmm. And number 3, they know that we have issues in our community, so they play on them.
They play on them. And 4, carrying the submissiveness a little bit. And submissive, I'm saying that word. I know it's very triggering to a lot of people. Maybe that's a poor choice of word right now, but just they understand that, and this kind of plays into the gentleness. If I'm doing these sexual acts, if I'm acting a certain type of way, if I'm being nicer to this guy, it gets me somewhere in the long run. So they'll play into that. They'll buy into those submissive shits. They'll do everything that's asked of them. They'll do certain shit. So those are the reasons. I'm like, don't shoot the messenger.
So
right?
I'm not sure. I just was repeating. So basically, they feel like it's easier to be with them. It's just an easier time. They don't have to be held accountable.
Some niggas will voice it and say yeah. Some niggas won't. I'm gonna say that's yeah.
Okay, I think
I don't necessarily agree. I love black women, but I do be dating Latinas though. I do be dating.
They're not white. All of them aren't white. There's white Latinas, but
yeah, it's white Latinas, black Latinas everywhere.
But you date everybody, all the races.
My last 2 relationships were with Latinas. So.
Okay, so Latinas.
Yeah, they got a hold on me.
What kind? Like Puerto Rican?
Puerto Ricans, black, Mexican was the last one.
Oh, so
the last one was Puerto Rican. The one before that, she was black and Mexican. Yeah.
Okay.
They got a hold on you, boy. I don't know what it is, man.
They got okay, so all right, now,
a little strangle.
You know, I'm going to have to ask this question for the girls, too, because they be wanting the male perspective on this. So why do the Latinas have a hold? What are they giving?
Latinas are special.
Okay, what is special about them? No, you could, okay, you ain't going to make me mad. You know that, but I want to know because you know they be, you know, women.
Yeah, they do want to know. Yeah, they do.
They want to know, like, why, like, what is the thing?
It's
Okay, but you gonna have to say, because you know they want to know.
Crying.
Because this is the thing, you're not saying that you don't value black women,
no,
or
I love
that
black
you
women.
wouldn't be with a black woman, or you think.
At the end of the day, I'm most likely gonna end up with a black woman.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, what is it about Latina women that gets that hold? Because you're not saying that they're better than black women or lesser. You're just they have a hold.
Like
so what is it about them?
It's like one of them things. It's like one of them things. It's like an anomaly. It's like can't explain it. It's like biblical. It's like magic almost. See what I'm saying? Like. Get around a few Latinas. You been to Colombia? I'm going off topic. All right, look. So
I have not been to Colombia.
I haven't been yet. We're going this October for my birthday. A bunch of us and my cousins, my female cousins too. So I'm not just going there with a bunch of niggas to wild out.
You ain't a passport, bro. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. Yeah, the girl. I'm traveling with women. So my cousins, her friends, and a few other girlfriends and stuff.
But you ain't tell me what the thing is.
All right, so Latinas are just stunning. I think it's more so a beauty thing because culturally there's a disconnect. Not typically for me because you know I got Hispanics in my family. That's not the issue. Cubans, Dominicans, obviously by way of Haiti and stuff like that. So I've been in the Hispaniola realm of stuff. So I date a lot of Latinas for multiple reasons, right? But for black people, that idea, that stigma, even is really like it's something just different, and they're pretty. Really is. I really think for them it's external. It's superficial for us to be dating Latino women.
Okay, so you think they're attractive, but you don't think black women are attractive?
Nah, see, you going down that hole that we weren't going down. No,
I'm
black women's not. It's just something different than what you're used to, and it's almost like a mysteriousness of like these are pretty women. These are very pretty women, and like I said, we don't really have a cultural ideology. Now, I think we do, but we don't at the same time. Like we still black and brown people for sure, but culturally they have a little bit more sense of where they came from. Now I'm saying a black American versus like a native to Hispaniola or a Latin country origin. They have a little bit more sense of family, culture, structure, things of that sort versus the black American. Black American maybe not so much, but far and few between. That's exception, not the rule.
That's by design on purpose.
That's by design on purpose. We can go down that rabbit hole. But the idea is like, there's a connection between us and we don't really know what that is, but we do know the external. Externals, they're gorgeous. External is they have the similar plight. Don't always have the same ideologies as them, but I'm gonna find out what that is. So we date we date them.
Yeah, I've never dated a Latino man actually. Crazy.
I don't really hear that too much from black women, but black guys for sure, and they're marrying them for sure.
Yeah, and I like Latino culture.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like
Yeah.
island culture in general. Like I speak Spanish, so I like when you explain it that way. I'm like, yeah, there's like so much to learn. Kind of is how
for
I
sure.
view it. Is like I don't not want to be black, but I'm like I love learning about their culture and stuff like that.
Even the way they stick together, like.
So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like an ooze of culture of like I'm this identity and like I am super proud of it. But okay, so you are basically telling me I'm like you okay.
Sum it up.
You're
Sum it
not
up. Sum it up.
anti-woman.
Sum it up. I'm not.
You're not anti-woman.
I'm actually pro-woman.
You're pro-woman. You're pro-all-woman.
Yeah. It's a fact. Twelvie love the ladies. That's what.
But I think like people would have to really actually sit and listen to what you're saying to get that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and ask follow-up questions because like on the surface, somebody might be like,
It's a lot of misogyny.
you ain't that.
You ain't shit.
But I think that you are.
Thank you.
I
got one. I got one fan.
one singular. I'm the most important one.
Yeah, that's a fact. I got one.
Follow. Okay, so your Instagram is what?
Twelvie.
That's it?
Yes, at Twelvie. TW3LBIE.
Okay. And then ILY Butt Podcast on Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
Next episodes coming up are on Nobody's Gonna Save You.
Nobody.
Nobody is fucking gonna save you.
That's a fact.
Women's health is non-existent in the U.S. Things like that, you know.
Shit is
Stay
crazy.
tuned. Love y'all.
Yeah. We love y'all.
Stay safe out here. Bye.
Stay safe.